In the bustling city of Seattle, tucked away between two towering skyscrapers, there was a small, unassuming bookstore that few people noticed. It had no grand sign, no flashy displays, just a simple wooden door with a faded plaque that read, "Whispering Pages." The store was known to only a handful of locals who swore by its charm and the strange allure it held. Lena, a young woman new to the city, stumbled upon the bookstore one rainy afternoon. She had been wandering the streets, feeling lonely and a bit lost in the vastness of her new home, when she noticed the store's warm, inviting glow. Curious, she stepped inside. The interior was dimly lit, with shelves stacked high with books of all shapes and sizes. The air smelled of old paper and faintly of something sweet, like vanilla. An elderly man with a kind face sat behind the counter reading a thick, leather-bound tome. He looked up and smiled at Lena as she entered. "Welcome to Whispering Pages," he said in a soft, soothing voice. "Feel free to look around. You might find something special." Lena nodded and began to browse the shelves. There was something magical about the place, something she couldn't quite put her finger on. The books seemed to hum with energy, their spines almost beckoning her to pick them up. As she wandered deeper into the store, she found a small section at the back, marked with a sign that read, "Books of Fate." Intrigued, Lena pulled out a book from the shelf. It was a small, unassuming book with a plain brown cover. There was no title, no author, just the words, "Open Me," written in elegant script on the first page. Without thinking, she opened the book. To her surprise, the pages were blank. Confused, she flipped through them, only to find that each page remained empty. Just as she was about to close the book and put it back, she noticed something. Slowly, words began to appear on the page in front of her, as if being written by an invisible hand. The words told a story, her story. The book described how she had moved to Seattle, how she felt out of place and unsure of her future. It recounted her hopes and fears, her dreams and disappointments. Lena's heart raced as she read on, unable to believe what she was seeing. The story continued, telling of a chance encounter she would soon have with a stranger in a coffee shop, someone who would change her life in unexpected ways. The book described this person in detail, down to the color of their coat and the exact time they would meet. Lena was both astonished and terrified. How could this book know so much about her? She closed the book quickly and placed it back on the shelf, her hands trembling. As she turned to leave, the elderly man at the counter gave her a knowing smile. "Remember," he said, "not everything is set in stone. You have the power to write your own story." Lena left the bookstore, her mind swirling with questions. Days later, she found herself in a coffee shop, just as the book had predicted. And sure enough, at the exact time, the stranger with the described coat walked in. But this time, Lena was ready. She knew her story was hers to shape, and as she smiled at the stranger, she realized that maybe, just maybe, she had found her place in the world. The end.